After Chris Tucker revealed the reason he turned down the Friday sequels, it was announced that Tucker is now being sued by the IRS as they've claimed he's neglected to pay $9.6 million in back taxes, penalties, and interest. Tucker's struggles with the IRS have been well documented since 2002. According to Entertainment Tonight, Tucker attempted to pay off his debt 3 times through monthly installments, but each one of those fell through for undisclosed reasons. Director of Rush Hour series, Brett Ratner, estimated that Tucker has turned down nearly $100 million worth of projects. Today we have our Comedy Hype analyst, Pierre, in studio with Capone calling in, along with a very special guest, Joyelle Nicole Johnson, to talk about Chris' struggles. Now, our main question leading today, and Joy, I do want to first, before we get there, welcome you to Comedy Hype News Show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm going to start with you. We're going to open the floor with you with the main question. Do you think Chris Tucker's selectiveness towards movie roles have put him in this financial trouble?
I mean, I think not saving money, not having a proper team behind you might have put him in the financial troubles, because this is like, I just released my first special. This is my first big money that I've ever gotten. I immediately got an accountant. I immediately got someone to tell me what to do with my money. And he told me to make sure to put at least half away so that when it comes to tax time, we're going to, write off a bunch of stuff with the company, and then hopefully I'll have some more money that's going to come back to me. So I made sure to have a good team on me, and I hope the best for all comedians. You got to get that team.
Absolutely. Now, Pierre, I want to throw it to you. I know we talked about this a little bit on yesterday's show. What was your reaction when you first saw this news article come out?
About him owning the $9 million?
Yep, being sued for $9.6 million.
A little bit surprising. I thought he had, dwindled the thing down from, he made payments. I heard through the grapevine he was making payments and so forth. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know he stopped making payments, but again, I'm not working with the IRS. I'm not on his team, so I don't know how that works. But outside looking at it, I thought he had made his payments and brought it down. So it shocked me that it still was up to $9 million when it was like about 4 a while back.
Right, yeah. And I will kind of touch on those. Before that, Capone, I want to come to you. What was your first reaction when you heard the news break?
Another black man being set up with back taxes. I mean, like Pierre said, it was 3-4 something before. Then they put all these penalties on it. And it just seems like when you get into this type of rut, they will do anything to keep you in there.
Now, I want to lay up a couple facts. As I mentioned, he did turn down a couple roles, and I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday. So some of those roles are Lethal Weapon 4, Any Given Sunday, Black Knight, The Pink Panther, Django Unchained. And we also know that, we didn't see him for a while, and we touched on that a little bit. So I want to ask the same question that I proposed to Joe back to you, Pierre. Do you think Chris Tucker being selective, played a role in him having this financial trouble?
Really?
I'm just asking the question.
Yes, I do. I mean, he has his reasons for why he didn't choose those roles. I respect that. We can respect that. But if it turns out that you owe, $4 million, $5 million, whatever, the only way you can pay it if you're an entertainer is to entertain. And one of his biggest money grabs was movies. And he was so hot on those movies that I remember one time someone asked me, and this was before he did the first Rush Hour, if I could get him, and they were offering, this was after he did Money Talks, and then he did, I think Rush Hour was after that, right? I think I don't know if it's right up, roughly around that time. Someone asked me that they had some money people that was going to give him $17.5 million. I said, what? I mean, again, no disrespect to Chris, but I didn't know he was that hot to get something, and they were going to give me some fee. So he's been offered money, a lot of money for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think if he would have took some of those movies, a lot of artists have done that. A lot of comics have done movies, for that money grab, to help pay some of those bills. So I say, it's your integrity. If you don't feel the roles are right for you, cool. But the IRS don't play with integrity.
Right.
When they want their money, they want their money. So.
Right, and I'm gonna throw it to you, Capone. Now, I just want to mention just my thought. I'm just curious to know, was he strategic in doing so? Because between 2002 and 2003, we didn't see him in anything. The next big thing we saw him in 2003 was another Rush Hour. So in my mind, it's like, okay, well, that's probably contracted. But because we didn't see him anything big, I'm wondering, was it like a strategic plan, knowing hey, the IRS is coming after me. I'm having to pay all these things. They're adding all these penalties and things. So if I'm taking on these big roles over and over, that's just gonna be, there's no telling what the IRS is. So IRS is going to do. So I'm very curious to know, like, was he strategic? And I'd be very interested to talk to him and dive in because
how can you be strategic in it if you're being that and you still owe the IRS? I mean, how else would he going to pay for it? How else would he pay? You got to make movies to pay for it. That's the kind. So there's the strategic to say I'm not going to do it because I'm worried about them heaping more money on. They're going to keep on heaping. If you owe taxes out there and you don't pay, trust me, they're going to keep on doing penalties and penalties and penalties. They're not going to stop just because you don't want to work no more.
Right.
That don't happen like that. So it behooves your ass to get out there and work on something. I don't give a damn what it is, but get that money down.
Capone, I'll propose that same question to you. Do you think Chris Tucker's selectiveness towards movie roles put him in this financial trouble?
Yeah, of course. That's without saying. But at the same time, it's a lot of pressure on you. And when you're dealing with an IRS situation, that's more pressure. And like Pierre was saying, the penalties do add up. But after a while, you feel like you're just working to pay the IRS. All of these millions that come at you, you can't touch none of it because you owe this and owe that. And I'm not saying that it's right, but it's a hard pill to take, to just go out there and make $10 million and just have to give it up like that.
Right. Now, Joya, I wanna bring it to you. So we did notice that, during the time that we weren't seeing him in these big roles, he took some time to do a stand-up special or a stand-up tour. So I want to ask you, do you like Chris Tucker as a stand-up comedian or more of a movie star?
I'm going to say, everyone knows that clip from Def Jam. He had a great set when he was on Def Jam, and that led to all the movie roles that he got. And there's nothing to say. It's hard to get a television-ready set together. Everyone here knows that. So the fact that he was able to do that and let that go into movie roles is absolutely impressive. And he was a great movie star. He's a fantastic movie star. So I'm definitely going to say movies. I didn't get to see him on any of the stand-up tours. I missed him in every city, but stand-up is hard. Stand-up is very, very hard. So movies, I don't know. Those might be harder. Hopefully I'll find out one day.
I think you will. Capone, I'll bring that same question to you. Do you like Chris Tucker more of a stand-up comedian or more as a movie star?
I say both. I saw the tour. I was actually with him backstage at the Apollo, and he just honestly seemed so happy being back on stage. With the movie roles, it's a good thing. It's just as hard, but you're kind of free on stage. And I saw the freedom come to life. He talked about the tax things. He talked about Wesley Snipes being his accountant. And so, the brother's phenomenal in both arenas. And I just think whatever he does, man, that he comes back and be able to get himself back together with the IRS and just keep entertaining us because he's brilliant.
Absolutely, I agree. And last but certainly not least, Pierre, what are your thoughts on it? Do you like Tucker more as a stand-up?
I'll answer that real quick, but let me go real quick about what Capone said about they hold, they do the black man or whatever the tax IRS. IRS don't give a damn what color you are. If you owe taxes, it means you didn't pay taxes before. So when you had money and you got $20 million and you don't pay taxes on that, they're gonna come get their money. That's just how it goes. So he owes money because he didn't pay money, most likely. You know what I'm saying? When he had the money. That's just what it is. That's the name of the game. I've owed taxes because I didn't pay taxes. I can't get mad at that. I'd rather have a new car, new J's. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And they're going to come get theirs. Okay? That's how it happens. So God bless him. I hope he rectifies his scenario. Now, as far as a stand-up and an actor, he didn't come through the ranks of stand-ups like me and Capone, the hole in the walls for many times. Let me tell you, I came from LA to Atlanta, because he came from Atlanta, started in Atlanta. And I remember he had like 5 minutes. He was hilarious for that 5 minutes. I went back to the comedy club owner, Michael Williams, who owned the Comedy Act Theater, which used to be in Midtown, and told him, man, there's a dynamic young comedian that's very funny. So from there, he got on Def Jam and did his 5-minute set. And it was so dynamic that they started putting him out on tour. Right. And then he worked for Bill Bellamy with Bill Bellamy and killed it for 20 minutes. Then they jumped him to an hour show. And I don't think he was ready for those times. Right. And people saw him and it's like, you're funny for 15 minutes, but 45 minutes is different. And I think he understood the struggle too, because in this business, Capone tell you got to go through these trenches a lot of times. If you get moved too quickly and too high, sometimes it can hurt you. And the fans will be like, man, we expected you to be funny for 45 minutes as you funny for 5 minutes on Def Jam. Well, he was a young comic. He didn't have his legs underneath like he wanted to, and he got pushed along a lot. So I think his comedy suffered at times. Now, in movies, You can take a take, mess up, you can redo it again. Take it. He was dynamic as an actor. As an actor, he killed it. As a comedy, I was blown away. You know, he hit the ground and ran fast. Again, making a movie is different. You can mess up and do it again. Stand up live, you can't. If it ain't working, it ain't working the way you want it. But I think in the last couple of years, he worked out and got people around him to help him get his act better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I still think he has a way to grow, but he is a very dynamic personality. He has some stories that we love to hear. Inside stories. His life has been amazing since, you know, damn near 20 years old. So he has great storytelling, and I think he's very funny, and I appreciate what he does.
No, absolutely. And I think you guys kind of already mentioned it, but we definitely do wish him well. I pray as he continues to go through this, he gets all this rectified and he's able to move forward. And we're able to see him back in projects because he is something, he's big in our culture. We love him. And I think a lot of people will, absolutely. And we will support him. I know we all will show up.
We'll be the best.
I'll be there too. Now, before we head up, we kind of talked about, you know, different careers and things, and we have the lovely Miss Joyelle joining us. So again, thank you for being here. I'm so appreciative to have you. I know you recently just released your first stand-up special that's executively produced by Jim Fallon. Jimmy Fallon, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I actually did the Tonight Show for the first time in May of this year. So I came out of the pandemic, did my first Tonight Show set on Cinco de Mayo, and the absolute dream happened that every comedian wants to happen is that I did my set for Jimmy Fallon, and he was like, I want to produce your first special for Peacock. So thank you. Nice. So I've done the Tonight Show twice this year. It's absolutely unbelievable. I wrote all this down on a vision board list years ago, and now it's all coming to fruition. So I'm really happy and proud of myself and honored to be in what I consider the ranks of people like Capone and Pierre. Very happy to have my grit in the stand-up game and have calm through Los Angeles and New York. So yeah, my first special, Lovejoy, is out on Peacock.
Absolutely, and congratulations again. Now, I do want to touch on a little bit. You said you come from, you know, the space of LA, and I know you and Pierre were kind of talking a little bit about the before, but before you got your special, like how was it for you, you know, growing up and especially coming through as a comedian in the times we're in, especially where you hit, you know, COVID and things like that, and now you have your first special. What were things like leading up to this big moment for you?
It was actually kind of crazy because I started in LA, but then I moved to New York because I'm the person that needs more reps on stage. LA, back when I started about 15 years ago, I wasn't able to get as many reps on stage, and I knew I needed to move to New York so that I can get into the trenches, is what they were saying, get into those basements, those deep, dark, moist basements in New York, and be able to get on stage 2, 3, 4 times a night so that I can get my muscles stronger as a stand-up comedian, because I respect the art so much. I respect my fellow comedians, and I wanted to make sure I'm doing this game right. And it was difficult. I mean, like I said before, comedy is hard, and I respect it so much. I respect the audience. And I just wanted to be good. So it was a difficult journey. It's still difficult now. When I did my second Tonight Show set, I asked Jimmy Fallon, he had just done Madison Square Garden, and I asked him how it was, and he was like, I was nervous. And I was like, you were nervous? So you're saying the nerves never end? Are you kidding me right now? So just to know that the nerves are never going to end, and that's just the respect we pay our audience. So it's been a 15-year journey, and I'm happy to still be kind of a baby in stand-up and have my first special out.
Absolutely. Well, again, congratulations. It sounds like it's well-deserved, and we know it's well-deserved. So we will continue to support you, and thank you again for joining us. And as always, Pierre and Capone, thank you for chiming in on this topic as well. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. Do you think Chris Tucker's selectiveness towards movie roles have put him in this financial trouble? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Without a doubt, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments, please.
I know you will.
Come see us, Chris. We love you, Chris.
Do you know the comedy culture? Play Comedy Hype, the game. Out now.